This is what subverting expectations done right looks like. Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today, we are going to take a fully spoilery look at Kaiju number 8, chapter 96. The one where Matsumoto goes full Power Rangers while completely subverting our expectations, while showing a strong understanding of Western culture, while flexing on just how well he can distract us with shiny plot elements, while he lays out the build-up to his plot twists in plain sight. This was an amazing chapter. Now, we're going to be getting into spoilers, so if you don't want any spoilers, you can click away now by going to the links below the video and getting yourself a copy of Humans Are Weird. Let's work it out. The latest in the series of books of human absurdity. This collection of short science fiction stories shares the perspective of the aliens who have to deal with us once the excitement of first contact has worn off. Now, into the spoilers. You have been warned. I want to take you back to a simpler time, back to the 90s. The very first episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is on in the States, and our band of plucky heroes has defeated a monster. Or have they? Oh no! With a surge of power from Crazy Villain Lady, the monster not only revives, it is now 10 times as big as it was, towering over our heroes. Exhausted from the previous fight, our heroes now have to dig deep, come together, and draw on their last resources to defeat this foe. Yeah, today, with 30 years experience, this is very much the oldest trick in the book. It is cringe, it is narm. But back then, we all thought it was pretty cool. It is an extreme example, however, of a larger trope. The third act flipping of fortunes. In this case, the shonen hero is about to defeat the monster of the week when you have a third act reversal, allowing for a fourth act. This is the pattern that we have, as manga fans are used to, and we expect Kaiju, and I think we all going into this expected Kaiju number 14 to survive that blast by Mina, and to go on to provide her with another at least 4 hours of combat. But that's not what happened. Now, I did predict this as a possibility, as a potentiality, because ultimately we knew going in that Kaiju number 14 was not the boss, not the main boss, definitely not even the big boss of this fight. Kaiju number 14 was the designated opponent of the most powerful character, but we all knew that Kaiju number 9 was pulling the strings, and ultimately the Defense Force was going to have to, at the end of this arc or the beginning of the next arc, take down Kaiju number 9. So this battle was a perfect choice for Matsumoto to put in a plot twist, because we all knew how this battle would go. Mina would go up against Kaiju number 14, it'd look like she was taking it down, then oh no, the power reading was going to surge, Kaiju number 14 would come back more powerful, stronger, it'd get dragged out 4 to 6 chapters, then the Defense Force would get a breather while we shifted into the actual fight with Kaiju number 9. But that's not how it went, and Matsumoto left clear forecasting clues. The primary one was the actual monster itself. Now, this is, I think, where Matsumoto is really playing with what is a really good understanding of Western culture, but something that would not be immediately obvious to even an advanced fan of Japanese culture. You see, in Western theater, we have a symbol. The tragedy comedy masks. This is an almost universal symbol of theaters if you live in the West. You will find these carved over medieval theaters. This was the symbol of a theater when Shakespeare was writing plays. It goes all the way back to ancient Greece. For the longest time, the theater was divided into 2 halves, comedy and tragedy. Those were the 2 primary genres, something to make you laugh, something to make you cry. This was represented by one face mask showing a ridiculous smile and one face mask showing ridiculous sadness. That image is so common in Western media that I happen to have 2 PNGs that I scraped off the internet and made into something with a transparent background so I could use them whenever I needed to. But Matsumoto, by leading with Kokoru's battle with the brainy ballerina, by leading with the respectful battle between Vice Captain Hoshina and Kaiju number 12, by building with those concepts, Matsumoto had us thinking about the actual internal workings, the thoughts, the drives, the emotions of the Daikaiju they're facing in these battles. So, when I saw that weeping face, that is in retrospect 100% the theater tragedy face, I thought, oh no, why is this kaiju sad? Not what does that face represent on a broader scale. Also, I know enough about Japanese culture to know that is not a ubiquitous symbol in Japanese culture. If I had to guess, I think this was a no mask or something. And so Matsumoto knows the Japanese culture well enough to know that in retrospect they would recognize the tragedy comedy masks, but it's not an inherent element of Japanese culture. And because most of us who are fans at this point come at this with that weeb mentality, it's a good blind spot for us, to his Western audience too. So when she shoots it, this is where we get our subversion. We were all expecting, so we see the shot going clear through its core on page 2, on page 3, everybody's rejoicing. We get a page of Kafka reacting. We get Mina standing there over her kill. And then we get the plot twist on page 10. Now, we were all expecting the threat to come from the tragic half of Kaiju number 14. But the imagery of the faces was not a suffering kaiju, it was a tragic mask. So there is another half to Kaiju number 14. So the other half of Kaiju number 14 shows up, and it is not the same monster, so it's not the same trope. This is a giant, larger form of Kaiju number 14, so you do get the trope of the monster increasing in size and providing a secondary threat, but it's not. This is the comedy mask, the laughing mask, which opens a portal, opens a door for Kaiju number 9 to step through. So it was a subversion because Mina did one-shot kill her opponent, because we were all expecting her not to be able to do that, but she did. There's a subversion. The fulfillment of our expectations, the final connection that allows us to see the pattern that we missed, is that Kaiju number 14's other half provides the door for Kaiju number 9 to step through to go after Mina. Now, this is something of a subversion. Every time we've seen Kaiju 9 go after someone like this, they had a numbered suit on that he would allow him to claim them. But this indicates that Kaiju number 9 is fully capable if Kaiju number 9 isn't simply using Mina as bait. It implies that he is capable of consuming a human, their thoughts, their mental processes, without them having a suit. Which, in retrospect, makes sense because he consumed those other humans, but we don't know how much of their memories he was able to process. The fact is there's a gray area there. We don't know enough about this process to say for certain what Kaiju number 9 is going to do, and Matsumoto is playing expertly in our own ignorance. So this plot twist does not feel forced. It does not feel unnatural. It 100% makes sense for Kaiju number 9 to show up here and claim such a powerful asset. But because of how Matsumoto had set it up, only showing Kaiju number 9 going after Defense Force officers with numbered weapons, we didn't expect it. It makes perfect number sense for the tragic face Kaiju to have a comic face counterpart, but only if you get that reference, and only if you get how much of Western culture Matsumoto is putting into a manga where the main character is named after a famous Western author. It is just such a good plot twist. I truly enjoyed this chapter. All the usual stuff. It felt way too short, and what we have here is a mirror of when they figured out that Kaiju number 9 was going after the Director General. And we have stakes, real honest-to-goodness stakes. So Mina has too much plot armor. She's not going to die. We all know that. But Matsumoto has set up real stakes here. The first level of stakes, the one that has been focused on at the beginning of this chapter. Mina is the heart and soul of the Defense Force. That is how she was introduced to us in chapter 1, the poster child of the Defense Force. And in this chapter, we get that again. People are saying we're going to be safe because Mina is out there protecting us. She is the visible face of the Defense Force. If Kaiju number 9 manages to absorb her, and that is a very real possibility. We have seen that Kaiju number 8, Kafka, our main character, has the ability to counteract Kaiju number 9's powers. I frequently theorize that this will involve eventually him learning how to pry people out of Kaiju number 9. So even if Mina is absorbed, that simply begins the arc where Kafka manages to master that skill of retrieving people from Kaiju number 9. Maybe he could even retrieve the Director General. Maybe he could even retrieve Hikaru Shinomiya if that's where the story is going. But that would be a whole nother story arc. And if the Kaiju number 9 manages to take out Mina Ashiro, that would be a devastating blow to the Defense Force in Japan. That would really, really shake up the status quo. So it's entirely possible that Kaiju number 9 is absolutely going to get his hands on Mina because of the dramatic tension that would apply. And her plot armor won't protect her because with Kaiju number 8's unexplored superpowers sitting in the wings, that won't be a permanent death. So it falls entirely within the range of shonen deaths in quotation marks. Or Mina might be able to fight her way out of this with the help of Kaiju number 8, Reno with weapon number 6, Aharu backing him up, and the other two guys. There's enough unused cards in play here that we don't know for sure that Kaiju number 9 is going to get Mina. But the effective combat force against Kaiju number 9 is Kikoru, Jinrumi, and Kaiju number 8. Kaiju number 8 is still fresh and ready to go, but Jinrumi, Vice Captain Hoshina, and Kikoru, everyone, all of Kafka's best backup except for Reno, are out of the fight. So, what's going to happen next? I have no idea, and that is a wonderful feeling to get with a Shonen Jump manga. What do you think, my wonderful viewers? What's going to happen next? Give me your theories. I really, really love it when you guys give me your longer theories in the comments, so please do that. Hit that like and subscribe button, and peace out, my wonderful viewers. Do you love awesome science fiction books? Of course you do. If you check out the links below the video, you can get yourself a copy of Comedy or Tragedy. Humans Are Weird. I have the data. Humans Are Weird. We took a vote, and Humans Are Weird, Let's Work It Out are the 3 comedy short story books available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo by Rakuten, Google Play. There's even some copies at Powell's Books, the famous used bookstore in Portland, Oregon. Dying Embers, dragons, aliens, and things that go boom in the night, and soon Flying Sparks, more dramatic traditional science fiction novels, are also available at Amazon. Flying Sparks is still on the pre-order page. If you want a copy, you can email me by contacting the website to pre-order yourself a copy. It's still being edited. So check out the links below the video to get yourself a copy of some wonderful science fiction.